In this video, we're going to look at ranges in Ruby. Now, a range is actually pretty easy to understand. Essentially, it's just a type of construct, a variable, if you will, that is inclusive or exclusive of a set of numbers. So if I do that, and then we look at R1, oops, I guess I gotta be an IRB to go ahead and do this. So we look at R1, if I look at the class, it's going to tell me it's a range, and the construct for it, how you actually build it, is 3, 2 periods, and the 6. Well, what does that get us? Well, it actually represents the numbers from 3 to 6. So if I want to look across on each of those, I can say R1 each, and then let's just do a simple block here and go X, put X. Oh, there we go. So you can see it just prints out 3 through 6. But as you get into more advanced programming problems, having access to a variable that can hold a range like this is a very powerful tool, because you can create ranges on the fly. You can't really put variables necessarily in here, but you can create them and utilize them within your program, like I showed you right here with a simple iterator. You can use them to create arrays. If we do go in here and say 2A, you'll get an array. It's a very quick and easy way to create an array if you need to on the fly kind of thing. You can also test for range membership if you want by actually doing a include, and let's just say 10. Let's say false. Now let's put 5. It's true. So you're testing whether it's going to be in the range or not. Now be careful in using integers or fixed num, if you will, here versus a string. So you might deceive yourself into thinking that this is a valid range, and it might appear so, but let's take a look here. Well, it didn't like it for one thing to come in that way. Let's go up here and do each and run it into our little block here and see if we can get something out there. Well, see, it's just looking at it like it's some kind of string type of construct. So you got to be really careful and make sure you're using numbers. The other ones that's going to fail is if you say 2.0 and 2.5. Again, if we go up there and 2A on it, it's not going to work, because think about this, in a real number like that, well, what do you want it to do? Do you want it to go 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, or do you want it to go 2.01, 2.02, all the way up to 2.1 and then 2.1? See, it doesn't know how to decide here, and it's infinite, absolutely infinite number of ways to actually do that. So really, ranges, you should stick around when you're just creating them from numbers like this, from basic integers like I've done right here. Now you can create your own custom ranges. It's not entirely hard to do, but I'm not going to actually demonstrate it, but you can do it by declaring essentially a class and as a subclass of range, and then go ahead and utilize that in the same manner with this. I don't know how much you're going to gain by doing that, but I do know that for just doing number ranges and checking for things inside that range, it's a very powerful little tool to have access to. Now the other part of it is that you can have what I showed you here was, let's do the to array. Well, okay, I need to assign this to a variable real quick here. Now if I do, well, let's look at R2. Do a 2A array. Okay, but now if I change this, let me go up here back to R2, and I'm going to add an extra period in here. Now let's do R2 to A. So you get this exclusive thing going on where it knocks off that end, and you only have the first part of that array. So that's using an exclusive array, and that's done by putting in the 3 dots like that, and that's useful in some circumstances, especially if you need to deal with that off by one type of error. So that's a little bit about ranges, and you'll be seeing those more in some programs coming up in other videos.